Welcome back, everyone, for our second game of the day. Like they already said in the first game, we are done with best of ones. No more all best of threes from here on out. We just saw Lycus Empire get eliminated, but Klims, you and I get a much happier game. Instead of saying goodbye to one of these teams, well, I guess technically we're still saying goodbye to them, but it's more of a goodbye for now, as they'll be promoted to our playoffs.
Yeah, I'm excited. Oxygen, Luminosity, both teams I think that we expected to be in this position, or at least in this realm. Oxygen, obviously, being one of the most dominant teams so far in the stage. They've only lost 3 rounds here in SCS season 7, whatever it is. And then Luminosity, on the other hand, they've had some closer matches, but they've been very dominant as well. Their attacking, though, a little bit concerning, but their defense is very, very strong here so far.
Yeah, Luminosity too, being a front runner in CL, going to the finals, a front runner in SI quals too, very recently making top 4 before losing to their CL rivals, Reality TV. They are Eddie, Asian, Splash, Rice, and Julian. Asian being technically the most recent pickup, but he's still a returning member, so that roster chemistry should still be there. Of course, an average rating of 1.1. The really important thing to remember about Luminosity Gaming is that they're fast, they're aggressive, and all 5 of these guys can shoot.
They love their aggression on attacks. I mean, they love going for their plants. In SI Quals, we saw them take on Wichita Wolves on Chalet, and that was a map where I think there were 4 attempts at plants. So, I mean, they're a team that loves to go for those direct takes, those direct plants. But if they're not going fast, if they're not trying to get these heavy action 5v5 action takes and stuff, they really struggle on their roam clear. So that's the thing to really go look for tonight against Oxygen is, can Luminosity be successful on their roam clear? Can they be successful in those mid to late round executes? Because that's something they've struggled with so far throughout the entire season of SCS, as well as in some of the SI quals, even notably. Some of their attacks just maybe not as strong as we quite expect, but there's still a very strong team on their defense, love being very passive, and their only loss, at least as of recent, being to Reality TV. They're on a roll.
And in a best of 3 setting, which I believe went to all 3 maps. If we want to look at someone who is integral, 2. Oh, it was only 2? I remember. No, one of them was Max OT.
It was 7-4 and it was 8-6 on Cafe. 7-4 was the first map that was Skyscraper.
The second map was Cafe, right?
Yeah, Cafe. 8-6.
Yeah, so, still a pretty close game. But if we want to look at someone who is integral to this LG roster, he's been here forever. It's Eddie. An astounding rating. 1.42 right now, plus 12 on the KD, plus 4 on the entry. And Eddie's kind of growth, I guess, has been really interesting. He started out as a hard flex for this team, but with Splash coming into the mix and now Silent Ends leaving to go to Parabellum, Eddie's kind of had to replace him. Now we had a talk with Tysus before about the new team dynamic without Silent Ends, and they have restructured their entry, but now instead of Silent, look towards Eddie to be that guy who's gonna no fear try and walk in.
Yeah, he's really stepped into an incredible role so far. Definitely one of the top outstanding performers right now for Luminosity, but they've got stars all across their roster. Rice had some notable 1v3 clutches and stuff on Cafe to actually send them into OT against Reality TV in that match. So there's a lot going on through there, but on the other end, they're playing against Oxygen Esports, and this is a dangerous team. I mean, they've been so strong, so deadly so far throughout the stage, and they feed off of aggression. Defenses, especially when they're going against the defense and the defense is being aggressive, they love to choke them out of the bomb site, force them to peek, and 9 times out of 10 Oxygen have been winning their gunfights.
Yeah, it's been really smooth sailing for this roster so far coming into SCS, and I mean, you kind of expect that. 1.3 average rating. These guys have been cooking everyone they've played against. I mean, their opponents too, they started with HK Rebels, who are a T3 team, didn't expect much of a fight, but Aerial Arise, I mean, they just put in the dirt. Aerial didn't stand a goddamn chance. I'm hoping we see something else from Luminosity, but first we have our highlight player from OXG. Who's it going to be? There's so many players we could choose from, but at the end of the day, Klims, who else? It's Newers.
Newers.
I mean, this guy has been up there in Pro League. Every single stage that he's played went right from T3 to the league, actually after an impressive SCS season with what is now Investigation File, who we just saw won their game. So see, it all comes full circle. 24-7, 5-0 on entry. I think, what did that say? Let me just confirm with the stat sheet. I think that said a 1.4 KPR. Yeah, a 1.4 KPR. So, I mean, this guy is a beast. OXG have lost a total of 3 rounds. We'll see if LG can really take it to him. Theme, Border, Sky, Oregon being our first bans. And I'm just going to spoil it for everyone here. Don't expect anything new. It's Bank and Chalet. Same 2 maps we just saw. It ended in 2 maps. Perhaps we'll see a third. If we do, it'll be Clubhouse.
If it is Clubhouse, that's Luminosity's domain. We haven't seen Clubhouse from Oxygen since Berlin. And Luminosity, they've been very dominant in their most recent Clubhouse matches against Aerial Rise in CL playoffs. They went like 7-1 against them, and the same against One Shot as well in CL Stage 3, 7-1. So they are very dominant team on Clubhouse. So if it goes to map 3, we haven't seen Oxygen play this map with Sweater being the latest addition to them in Stage 3. So maybe we'll see something different, but they played Clubhouse 3 times in Berlin and lost all 3 times. So maybe not a promising map 3 for Oxygen.
Yeah, however, we did see them play Bank recently against HKR, and they looked indomitable. They won 7-2. But yeah, like, I mean, I think this is a good chance for LG to start off strong. This is their map pick. Like you said, they do like this map. Their most recent performance on this map, maybe not as great. They lost 8-7 to Aerial Rise in the playoffs, but during the normal stage in Stage 3, they won it twice against Vipers and Favelas, the former, actually being in the league. And as you can see by our predictions, we've got full faith. And because there's really no reason not to. I mean, they're OXG. They've lost 3 rounds. They dismantled Aerial. Lycus. Oh my god, they're gone. Never mind. Luminosity are a great team. They're fantastic. I think they can push it to map 3, but I don't know if they can win.
I agree, but if they do go to map 3, it'll definitely be a chance. It'll be a firefight on Clubhouse. I think that will be a barn burner of a matchup. These first 2 maps are really going to be where it is won, rather. And going to map 1 of Bank, being Luminosity's pick, they're starting on the attack. Or no, I'm sorry, they're starting on the defense. So we'll have to see. Their defenses are usually what propel them into victorious positions. They're very successful on their defense. And for a team that you wouldn't expect to be so passive with younger gunners really in the CL scene, coming in, they're a very passive team. I mean, watching back at their last couple of games against Lycus Empire, against Wichita Wolves, they're passive. They sit there, they hold the angles, they force executes, and they thrive in that fast action gameplay, just like on their attacks. When they go for those 5v5 executes, that's when they've got the best shot of coming out with the round.
Yeah, and OXG, I mean, they may not have a flawless attacking record, but on both the maps they've played so far, which was what? It was Bank and something else. Bank and Chalet.
Bank and Chalet.
They have an 83% win rate on attack on both those maps. So LG are certainly going to have their work cut out for them come, the start of this map. As you can see by the Twitter poll, we were confident in OXG, as is the rest of the community, or the rest of the community that actually voted. And we're going to move into the op-ins. We saw Solus get banned both maps in the earlier game. I'm really hoping we get to see her. I'm praying, because she's really cool.
I hope so too, but I just don't know if it's gonna happen with how strong she is. I mean, there's so many things that you have to worry about when it comes to Solus, and I was kind of foreshadowing this before even the operator was announced. I was like, what if there was an IQ on defense? Like, how nuts would that be? Because think about the drones that you get to see as Valkyrie goes off the board for Oxygen. So maybe
come on, LG.
There's a chance. Luminosity,
come on,
please. I'm praying, because I think it'd be really cool to see how this new operator.
Yes!
In couple, I bet you'll see her almost every round, if not every round. Now, these 2 teams probably not as comfortable running the operator in their lineup, but you can use Solus as that operator to make shotgun rotates, to be able to go through and, play differently. You have the SMG-11, the shotgun, the IDA-12. Not a bad shotgun. It's got some damn good range on it. It's a fun gun, but Luminosity not electing to bring her out in round 1, so maybe just not for the basement. Maybe they'll plan to go and hold site a little bit harder, and there's no need to really see all those electronic gadgets around the map if you're just going to kind of anchor on.
I'm sad we don't get to see her played first. But it does also mean Azami is left up too, right? With the advent of Solus and how powerful people say she is. She's a great IGL op. She can see, you know, like you said, where all the drones are, providing they're active. She can see attackers on their drones. She can see Thermite even if he's just holding the utility. That's the cool thing too. With util like that, they can just be holding it. They don't actually need to be out either. So you could, you know, adjust your entire defense just off of Solus intel. Like, she's fantastic. I mean, you could pick off flank drones, you could pick off presets, you know, to work for a late flank, stuff like that. Solus is, I would wager that she is just teetering on the line between really good and kind of busted.
Kind of in that S tier range, really, like that A tier, S tier talk, and we'll have to see kind of where that goes through as the season progresses. But being only through day 2, the first day that we actually get to physically see, thanks to UB fixing up that lobby bug that we had that we couldn't watch the games yesterday, unfortunately. But we get to really see how Solus might impact competitive play, because any teams are watching these games and they want to see how other competitive teams are utilizing that operator to the fullest extent. How can you utilize Solus to the best level? And that's what we're going to see so far. On this clear right now, Oxygen taking their time, and Luminosity, they're just playing back. They're shooting a couple drones, and they're more than likely just going to retreat down the main stairs, retreat down elevator. Rice over here trying to keep Julian outside in an elevator undetected, potentially keeping the cap cam in play, but who knows, as now Rice has fallen back down the main stairs towards garage, and there goes Kixrow with that.
It's a solid clear so far from Luminosity, knowing that if they open that wall, they have the cutoff. The defense is going to be forced back long before any fights are taken. So we're still 5v5 into the halfway point of the round. Now OXG have to figure out, what do they want to open? They've only got 3 hard breach gadgets. They've got ace charges still, so they could get all the hatches. But if they do, they'll leave one of those default walls up. If they decide to get both default walls with your ace, then you're going to have to leave one of those hatches, because, of course, it takes 2 ace charges to get rid of it. There's also a Cade Claw still on the red hatch. So, for now, that's not an option. The Risley Bear, that's pretty funny. Dream will go ahead. I didn't even notice that. And ace open one of said hatches. I think it was the server hatch, putting some more pressure here on Eddie. ADSs start to go and burn away. Util nade comes in and still gets burned, though Newers does pick up the first kill onto Rice, dropping one of those really important C4s for the defense. The shotgun coming into play, but no picks just yet for Eddie. He's brilliant at wasting this time, but now the the attackers start to drop. And he's going to start feeling the pressure, start feeling the pinch. Not going to take the fight just yet. He's got support from Splash, taking out Vertical. Ying, another one. That's Asian picking up his first kill. Sweater moving in, attempting to finally fry the smoke, but the shotgun prevails. 4 versus 2 for LG, losing Rice, but then storming back. Finally, Eddie goes down, but Asian has another response, leaving Newers alone. He's a fantastic player, but he simply does not have the time to win it. Asian confirms a 3K on the round, and LG get the first point.
How about that? That's one way to start off Bank if you are Luminosity. You want to get as many rounds in the pocket as fast as possible, especially against a team like Oxygen. That's the fourth round. Now, Oxygen has lost all season so far, and a pretty dominant one at that. That red hatch stayed closed due to the Kaid Claw staying in play, and I see Solus showed up on the board, so hopefully Eddie will continue to stick that pick. But going back and talking about that last round, Luminosity doing such a good job of shooting all of that information out of Oxygen. Only 1 drone remained on the board when they went for that execute. So Oxygen were flying in blind into the bomb site. Sure, they had droned and gotten all of that information on kind of what was around the bomb site, but when it came down to the full-on take, there was no live action information that a hard support could have sat there, live drone, used drones as bait. Those are some of the good abilities you can use with drones to be successful. And, well, Oxygen lacking those drones, lacking their play, and Luminosity showing off in that round.
A fantastic blue hold from Eddie there. And I'm really excited to see how they play with this Solus. She's got a good bit of presence in really every stage of the round. Your drone's never going to be safe as long as she's on the board, especially early on. She can be instrumental in finding those early cutoffs. And even finding early cutoffs like that can even clue you in to where the attackers are going to be entering from. Because, you know, why would you have a drone in a spot if you're not going to go there? Why risk losing it? So Eddie's gonna be one of these top floor roamers, it looks like, along with Rice. So info on the Solus, info denial on the Mute, Splash up there as well to support on this Oryx. I'm honestly a little bit surprised by where Eddie's playing, up towards like Banana.
Yeah, we'll see how things go with Eddie being up here, but more than likely just trying to gather some of that information that Oxygen is gathering right now. Fox A directly countered by Solus. Those Argus cameras that are shot out in the lobby, if anyone on the attack gets on those, Eddie's just going to be able to spot them anywhere throughout the lobby. So operators like Zero, you might not see as commonly played anymore because of operator like Solus, who has been brought out. Essentially IQ on defense. And there's the first Argus cam to go through. I'm sure Eddie knows exactly where it's gone, and it's shot out immediately going on through. They know of Fox A's position due to them getting on the camera, and that is the strength that this new operator really brings.
In comes the Sledge, and speaking of the strength of an operator, this shotgun gonna punish the Sledge. Actually surprised that Rice didn't get a one pump there, but Sledge gonna back off, licking his wounds. Oh, that's true as well. Sledge now 3 armor, so you can, I guess, tank a little bit more. I mean, regardless, he does have enough HP left to where a 1 armor would still, I think, be alive. So a little bit unfortunate there for Rice. But, I mean, he still delays time. I mean, it's a minute 20 left in this round now, and all the attack has really done is push the one guy out of Janitor. Solus is still up here. Eddie's lurking around. I don't know if Vertical knows this. He's still got a call, which he can use for info. But, oh, there's the first pick finally coming out. Newers on to Kicks Row, giving the Oxygen the advantage. A follow-up from Fox A to put themselves in a 5v3.
And here's the first time we've seen so far this season of Oxygen being able to utilize Dokkaebi. They banned it out twice in their most recent matchups, but Vertical now getting the luxury of the Dokkaebi since they decided to ban out the Ying. Luminosity still, though, on this roam. Eddie still with some of that top floor presence, but now has fallen back away to their comrades within the bomb site. Luminosity, they've done a good job so far of shooting drones, denying some of that attacker information that Oxygen are bringing, but still 30 seconds left on the board, a man disadvantage, and Oxygen really in the driver's seat as they've started some of this vertical play, this vertical destruction. Asian on the Maestro, curiously enough, trying to hold on to open area as Dream might try to go on through and walk on in. They will do so and take the fight. Ends up starting to get this diffuser going down, but it's Eddie with 2 on Solus, able to bring down Fox A and Newers, an impact to go through, trying to find these players, but the plant has gone down. Rice, though, with the kill.
No
so
way.
It's the Ying and Eddie due to... What? Eddie getting the 4th on the round. The retake might go through, but here's Dream on 1 HP, able to bring down Rice. So, very winnable situation for either player. Both just on about 1 or 2 bullets. A spray through the wall won't find Dream. A flashbang to go on through, but Dream has to move their position. A hop through for Eddie, but it's not going to happen. Dream on 1 HP, making work of that clutch. Beautiful play by the Flores, and Oxygen will take their first round.
What an attempt from those guys on LG. What was that, like a 2 versus 5?
Yep.
Going down to a 1v1, 3 kills from Eddie, 1 really important one on the site from Rice. It looked like they were going to be able to get it together, but Eddie being forced to kind of back off and because of that low HP and reload after his fight, leaving Rice kind of exposed, not looking the right way when Dream peeked around, and that's the experience showing from Dream. Excellent clutch from him in what was technically, you know, coming down to a 1v2, getting the plant as well. I am, again, a bit confused about the Solus play that LG are employing. I feel like the thing that makes Solus so good is that you can have her in some central part of the map, like either to your roam or to your anchor play, and just see everything. And like almost, you know, like a conductor, figure out where all the pieces need to be, figure out the timing, you know, see all those devices and stuff like that. You can completely adjust your defense off of her info, but they're choosing to play her towards like Trump and Banana, which is really far away from where the site's happening. You're kind of disconnected from the rest of your roam as well. And I don't know. I think the roam was better for Luminosity when they had Eddie on the Azami. At least in the round we just saw.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I don't know exactly why Luminosity are using Solus to this extent, putting Eddie in Trump and the executive office upstairs, trying to hold on to as much of the control, deny the lobby information that Oxygen like, and they like to strive off of. I mean, Fox A being a pivotal player here in lobby, trying to make some good work here, but again, I don't know if that's the biggest pivotal part. Eddie, though, will pick down Fox A, so getting that opening frag here on the round. Dream, though, with the refrag and the response, is things starting to come down to a little bit of a down. Splash will fall to Sweater, as again, this top floor roam just going so well. Eddie still with the Solus upstairs, so one more player for Oxygen to try to deal with, but Eddie has no help. There's no one there, and also Oxygen are just trying to work onto the bomb site now.
At the very least, there's an equalizer there from Kixero onto Dream, the man who was able to clutch that previous round. Back to 3-on-3. Sweater looking to get some vert done, but Eddie's still lurking up here. I think Sweater hears him and thinks he's below. He is, yeah, I think he thought that the sound cue was through the hatch. Eddie's not going to have an angle on him, though, so for now, Sweater will escape, free to work vert in stock onto the bomb site. Force some of these defenders to move, catch one from above, taking down Rice. No more C4 on that mute. Eddie making his way through those top square walls, making his way down, and there's no coverage. There's no coverage on the planter. Newers is going to whiff, uncharacteristic from him. Pulls out the pistol to finish the kill, but now his teammate is gone, and he's on 1 HP. Up against the ump. Each player knows exactly where the other's at. Newers, no nades left, so he's gonna have to take this fight with the low HP. Spans through the wall, almost kills him. Now these two players are playing paintball. One bullet from each will end the round. Newers is better, despite being in the disadvantage. What a biblical pre-fire through that wall to put the pressure on Kixero, and he couldn't take the heat.
Saw him in the highlight. Newers, I mean, an outstanding season so far, and showing off why the 1v2 to take place, and what better than that, or realistically a 1v1, as he had brought down that square player earlier on. But I mean, Newers, that wall bang, just the knowledge to just start shooting through the wall. Where would the other person sit? Where would I sit if I was on the other side? And that's what some of that experience really goes in through when you are a professional player, when you've been around a team like Oxygen, and when you've been around in the league for so long, playing in so much competitive siege, you build up all of that knowledge and get to use that against your opponent. Newers just outbraining Luminosity, showing why Oxygen are one of the more dominant teams. They can win any round in any situation they're handed.
A disappointing start for LG, I have to say. Especially after winning that very first round. You had the next two like in the palm of your hands. You just can't close it out. Eddie's been the big player so far, 6-3. Now we have a different player, Rice, now on the Solus. Typically the support guy on attack, typically a smoke player as well. But he's also going to be all the way upstairs on the roam, armed with the shotgun you were talking about. You can do site prep with it, you can open rotates, even though you've got impacts, but you still have an SMG-11, which, again, you know, for a, not career necessarily, but for a very experienced smoke player, is as good as any other gun.
And I think we'll see Rice try to use Solus maybe more as we were expecting in that centralized location. Now they're upstairs here inside of the janitor closet, but I expect a very rapid follow-up. But check out Oxygen. They're bringing out Sense, who had a recent change in this season, and they, well, are now a 3-speed. Much faster and maybe a little bit better on that weapon, the LMG style PDW almost in a sense. And maybe we'll see them go through and have a crazy execute plan, but Eddie bringing down Dream off the bat. There's your hard breach gone, and Oxygen on the back foot.
On a downstairs attack, losing your hard breach early is always going to be detrimental. Luckily, though, you've still got hard breach charges. Vertical already using both of his. Foxay still with 2 in pocket, but now you lose Newers. And with that, Splash is going to say, you know what? This realm, we don't really need it anymore. We've already taken 2 kills. We killed the primary entry as well as the hard breach. And because of the shotgun, Rice is going to be able to drop the hatch if he decides to. Sweater is hunting him down. Of course, Rice does play close with the SMG-11, and he's definitely going to have the advantage in this fight, even if he misses a couple bullets. If he forces Sweater to back off, at the very least, that'll give him the opening to drop that hatch. Projectors starting to go out. Rice is going to be able to see them. You don't really need to mark them, considering it's a big blue wall in the middle of the site, but it is distracting him from Sweater's position, at least for now, but the Sledge not choosing to strike just yet. Vertical and Foxay trying to work something on A, burning away this utility, getting rid of all the Goyo shields, actually, but Kickstro still has 2 gas canisters. He'll end up getting a kill, but that player upstairs, Rice, on the hatch, does fall. Gas canisters still start to come out from Kickstro with 35 seconds left. He's got 1 remaining, so it's not going to be able to burn away the remainder of the clock, but it'll definitely do a lot of damage and enable Eddie to get that C4 in and deny the plant once and for all. They know about the garage angle, of course. These are experienced pro players. Vertical will try and fry him off of it, but no cigar. Sweater, though, re-engages and takes him out. Vertical waiting through the smoke, takes so much damage and is burned out. So slow time. Eddie's now on the hatch. He doesn't even need to play for the C4. He'll just shoot Vertical in the back, and there is no time remaining. Sweater cannot possibly win the round. Luminosity, despite having Splash drop there, will take the round.
2-0 on the basement so far for Luminosity, and that time waste, that stall, that denial being brought out by them, wasting so much of Oxygen's time, those early opening picks, really letting Luminosity thrive and strive in their attacks. And Oxygen, no information to be found. I mean, you had Sweater practically working blind throughout the entire middle floor, and when that's the case, you're going to struggle. Sweater having to peek around blindly, and there was no answer for the smoke grenades. The Goyo Volcan canisters being brought out by Luminosity, and Oxygen just waste a round out on time denial. And I think with how much denial is being brought out by Luminosity, Oxygen really need to go for those full clears. Need to try to get more ground, potentially even look at a lobby-sided execute, because right now that server execute is so difficult to perform when there is so much denial being brought out by LG.
We're going back to open, though, and I don't know how I feel about this decision. They've already defended it twice and lost it twice. I mean, both were fairly close rounds, I guess. But it still wasn't a win. They still couldn't grab it. It looks like, though, they are changing the strategy, which I appreciate. They'll have the Frost play upstairs with the shield, with that little open stock wall. Now they're bringing both the Azami and the Solus.
Everyone gets to turn on Solus.
It's Splash playing it now instead of Rice or Eddie. Eddie's back in the Azami, which I am happy to see. This guy on the upstairs row with Azami, I don't know about stock. I haven't seen him play there too much, but when he's in Janitor, this guy's the Dawn. This guy doesn't get cleared.
Well, and especially with how strong Azami is, I mean, you have those keepers you can throw at your own free will, and when there's 5 of them that are dispersed around the map, it's a little bit tough for an attacking team to try to deal with it. Luminosity, they've typically actually banned the Azami in some of their recent matchups, but here they've left it up against Auction, trying to use it for leverage and gain as many rounds as potential with it. Eddie obviously favoring that operator, as you've highlighted, Harrison. We'll see if he's able to take any advantage of that, but someone right now on Auction who's had a rough start, and maybe potentially why this match is tied right now. Vertical, 0-4, one of the better players there for Auction. I believe he was the Stage 1 MVP of the NAL, and right now a very quiet start. So being shut down is a concern for Auction, considering they thrive off of their entry picks as well. And right now, being negative as an entry operator, you're not getting the best of the job done that you really are set out to do.
Asian just got lit to half HP, playing on the site. Don't quite know from where, but maybe he'll play a little more passive now. The Castle takes the early engagement against Newers, and Rice loses it. Armed with the UMP, that's not necessarily the most advantageous gunfight to take. So Luminosity suffers an early death. They spot the Azami here in Trump, but Eddie still wins the fight against Vertical. Great shot there to equalize the man count. Foxe is waiting, daring him to try and retreat. Instead, Newers will opt to take the fight. He dealt some damage. Eddie still persists, wasting so much time. I mean, he's still got a minute to play with here. He'll finally get taken down. That was kind of funny. He'll finally get taken down. Sweater connects with the headshot. But, I mean, 2 minutes. 2 whole minutes being wasted.
I mean, they spent so much time trying to deal with Eddie, and that's the impact of the round so far. In Auction, they've got plenty of time to make some vertical destruction work, but they've got to clear out Eddie, or Splash rather, who's playing on Solus now. And if any of them choose to get on drone in a dangerous spot that's floor bangable, you might see Splash actually end up winning out that gunfight, but more importantly, Splash is going to have a good idea of where this attack is happening. But no, they overextend in a lobby, trying to run away from that vertical pressure, which drops down onto them. Fox able to win that gunfight. Now they execute to come out from Auction. Newers will drop into the small office, but not go in just yet, waiting for the call to come through to go on and flood the bombs. So Bulletproof's cam to go down, but Asian has been down. There goes Kicks Row, and things not on the up there for Luminosity, losing their 3rd straight open area defense.
The only kill being from Eddie, even though he wasted so much time. They still couldn't win off of it. They were left with 2 bodies in sight. Splash dying there. I don't know. You got to kind of expect the late front flank. I mean, Oxygen just had way too much map control for those 2 anchors to win it, especially with how close to each other they were. They couldn't cover a terribly large amount of ground. LG trailing 2-3, despite what looked like it was going to be a pretty good start. They'll hedge their bets on an even half on CEO. Still playing that shield over by Stock. They'll flex onto Warden. They'll keep the Azami, but drop Solus. And I gotta say, with how good, as good as she is, I do agree with the decision. I don't think LG have necessarily been using her to her fullest capability, especially with the way they've been roaming with her. She's not really in a centralized spot. And there's not really just a lot that OXG are playing with to warrant a Solus.
They definitely haven't utilized Solus to her full ability and extent as you would expect. Really not getting too much beneficiary out of it. I mean, Fox is still able to reign free on the 0, and that's been a big problem for Luminosity. Some of the information that Auction has maintained and gathered so far throughout this match. Warden being brought out instead of Solus, though, so any of the smokes that come on through from Auction would be denied, or at least you'd be able to see through. You might have expected a sense to be brought out, but more than likely Auction called the audible with the repick feature and got away from that if they saw the Warden there on the board. But, I mean, here we are, Auction, again, kind of just doing the same things over and over again. Getting on lobby repels, doing just the job that you have to do on bank first, and trying to choke Luminosity out of comfort position so that they can win their attacks.
About a minute down now as OXG look to entry into the building. Newers very nervous about this head hole being opened up, and rightly so. Their main target probably gonna be Asian here on the shield, as the Wamai, as the wall starts to get opened up by the ace. Newers and Asian, in fact, do take the first gunfight of the round, and Newers ends up winning it. Despite having the shield, Sweater comes in for the assist. Domes kicks row. Dream a follow-up. All the defense falling. Eddie, the last one left, gets one for himself, but it doesn't matter. Newers cleans up, and OXG take a 4-2 half.
OXG just exploding in through top square. They just open up the walls in the bomb site, go on through and win all of their gunfights. Sweater really piggybacking off of some of those first engagements, and then Newers to kind of clean everything up. So Oxygen flowing well. So far, a good attacking half on bank, but more so expected. You expect a more heavy attacker-sided function, but Luminosity, they're a team that thrives off of their defensive success, and losing out 4 of your defenses when that's something that you rely on so much, very similar to Vipers, thrive off of those defensive wins. Losing 4 of them is a little concerning here going into the half switch.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
See if they can shore up their attacks. I like the operator lineup. It's an interesting one. So they've got the hard breach in the Hibana rather than the ace we saw from OXG. Thatcher being played with OXG brought maybe once, if that. The Capitao, an interesting pick as well for extra hard breach, as well as those smokes and fire arrows to help flush out important defender spots, especially like that red hall. He's in a Capitao vault there. No more close smokes, no more C4s, especially that's kind of the more important one. I like the way that Fox A is already using Solus. Instead of helping with setup, like we saw from LG, he's just sprinting around the map, looking for drones, trying to see where they're pre-placed, a lot of them towards that lobby side, trying to see if he can pick off any early, which he was able to do. You can see LG with only 8 drones left, rather than the 9 they should have, of course, because the Twitch drone, you know, they don't count. So the overlay will only tell you that you have a 9. So LG's successful in some sort of sense. Although I am curious as to where he's playing now. I imagine he's gone back to site.
Yeah, there's really no pre-placed information there for Luminosity around the map, so that means it's just going to take them longer here on their attacks. They're not able to walk in as freely. They have to follow the drones, and that comes with risk, and it depends on how far you want to follow your drones when you're going through the map. Now, good droning and diligence so far by Luminosity has gathered them most of the top floor, if not all of it already, but now they're going to be tasked with dealing with that middle floor, and that's really the peanut butter and jelly of the bomb site here. I mean, you stack it up like a sandwich, right? You get the bread on the top floor, bottom floor, but right in the middle, you get the meat, the bread and potatoes, and that is where all of the action typically happens on basement. That's where Oxygen on the defense is going to focus most of their time, trying to waste as much of Luminosity's resources here, holding out open area.
And there we go. See, I like this Solus play from Fox. Right in open area, right next to the hatch, playing with the other roamers, able to call for them. But the Grizzly Bear, Dream, is the first casualty thanks to Splash pushing downstairs in server as the Capitao. And he takes out a very important operator, especially on this site. He'll, however, be instantly traded back. Luckily, his teammate has an answer, so Luminosity keep that man advantage. Now they no longer have those fire arrows and smokes that they were maybe counting on.
We'll see here as Luminosity, they've gained that second floor control now, and honestly, a lot of map control overall. They've pretty much got Oxygen in a spot where they can do whatever they want to them here on this attack. Do they want to go for lobby? Do they want to go for server? And more than likely, you'll see Luminosity go for the server execute. They're set up for it. There's no smoke. There's no plant denial on the board other than Fox A, who's got the Solus to be able to tell their teammate that the plant is going down. You got Sweater with the Nitro Cell, but that's it. And Nitro Cell's very easy to shoot out, especially if you've been doing your arc practices, you know, getting ready for the execute. But here comes the smoke grenade, the execute to come through from Luminosity. Lots of utility being dispatched, and more than likely a plant to follow.
EMPs go out to disable that bulletproof can that was later destroyed. I think maybe disabling the C4. Sweater the next to die. The flank from Solus unsuccessful. Newer's the last one left in a 1 versus 4 as the plant goes down from Rice. Now with hatch control and the attackers peeling back to their post-plant positions. This is nearly unwinnable, and there it is. Asian closes it out. LG take round 7. I really liked the way that OXG were playing with the Solus there, especially in the early round, kind of huddled up in the middle of that roam, but LG's execute was simply too fierce.
Yeah, more expected from the Solus play, and that's really the beneficiary you get out of her. You know, you get to see those drones being brought through, and I'm sure Fox A is able to kind of tell their teammates, okay, let's leave now. They've got this much control. Okay, they know that the top floor is cleared by now. I mean, that's the cool thing about using Solus. You get to deny not only those pre-placed drones that pre-place information, but also you can guide a roam exactly as you want. You get to conduct it just like you're conducting a band, just like you're conducting an orchestra or whatever, right? You're going through the motion, and you see, okay, they've taken top square. All right, they're droning through CEO, they're droning through executive, they drone banana, they're droning out lobby, right? And that you can see yourselves actually getting choked out. You can see the other team's drone work and getting pinched. And you actually could almost use that in other rounds to your favor. Be like, okay, they're droning this very heavily. Let's go throw a little bit more utility there, and you can make really good mid-round, late-round adjustments here in the match. You can make those after you've seen one attack from a team, really get a benefit out of the adjustments being made. Now you see a pre-placed drone upstairs, and here's the hunt. I mean,
Oh, it's
looking
up
for
six,
that
up
drone,
on
but it's
top.
just above Newers. He really wants it. He can't quite see it because it's just a little bit too short. There it
we
goes. But again, right, the benefit, and there's the scan function where it'll scan it for your teammates too. So Newers kind of gets an idea of where that drone is.
I love it. I love using new ops. Cool. All right, thank you, Vertical, for showcasing that. So they get an early flank cam. Clearly, they're going to win the round now. So where is he playing? Where is Vertical playing? Observer, to Vertical, please.
Vertical we go. Nope, to Asian we go.
That's not Vertical.
Well, he's working up the main stairs. Though. I'll be able to at least spot out the castle. But Newers with this long angle in the lobby, maybe unexpected. There's
There
Vertical. Instead of Archives.
Ah, Archives.
Yeah, I think that's a great place, though, to be able to play it. I think that Luminosity was doing the same exact thing on their open area defenses by bringing the Solus and having them play inside of Archives and really denying any of the drones some of the information. And it's one of those center focal points of the map. Archives is a big room that you have to clear, and that comes with a lot of the verticality play. But here it is, Asian with the opening kill on the Newers, bringing down currently the star player for Oxygen.
However, there's a trade. Kixro, who had that open wall to see down the hallway. Multiple members from OXG were taking that fight and really keeping the pressure on. Kixro re-peaks and falls. The last remaining top floor roamer, I think that was Foxe, maybe? I don't know who that was. Ending up falling back to the site. So LG have all this coverage in their hands. Eddie, of course, as Sledge, is going to immediately start to go to work with that sledgehammer, try and work his way not only above the site, but likely over Archives and Tellers as well, where we saw Vertical playing earlier, but it seems like the Solus has since backed off into the bomb site. So all Eddie's going to do is just clear out small office, clear out that south side of the site, make sure no one's playing there, and that the attack is going to have a much easier time either working their way through that archive side or dropping in the corner hatch.
Start of these choke point positions now, but Luminosity, they've done a good work so far of getting rid of some of this top floor control. So what? There was a nerf to Sledge and his movement speed. Tell you what, he's still very useful at destroying the floor and reconstructing the map, and that's what you've seen so far from Eddie, really just pressuring out Oxygen from the bomb site. You've seen them open these hatches as avenues and leeways out of the bomb site, almost electing to go for a retake strategy. Vertical on the swing, yet to find a kill so far in this matchup, and they'll fall to Asian, who's on for their second of the round here. But as the execute goes through, line of sight blocked off. Dream trying to make the swing, but they'll lose out the fight on the splash. The execute still going on through Fox, able to find Asian, but the plant's gone down. Vertical control in place for Luminosity, and Sweater the last alive to try to clutch out this 2v1.
I think Splash might be able to cover the diffuser from the window as well, but it's not even going to matter. Eddie upstairs working that Sledge to perfection, getting a couple picks. The coverage on that plant, I must say, was very well executed for LG. Again, I really like how OXG are playing the Solus, but again, it's kind of like what we saw from OXG's attack. LG aren't bringing a whole lot for that Solus to counter other than just drones. Like, you can see where the diffuser is planted, but they're not really playing Solus as a late game operator. She's mainly just assisting those roams, getting picks on drones, working a flank later on, because you can also see whether attackers are on the drones or not. You can actually only see the drone if an attacker is currently on it. So if you just, keep that up while you work the flank, then you can see whether or not they're checking for you. So she's great flanking up as well. But she hasn't had as big of an impact, I think, that we were expecting her to. I think every round we've seen Solus played has been a loss.
Maybe,
if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe, definitely a lot of them. One thing I think that Solus would be really good for is like a CEO, bomb site defense. Now CEO, one of those bomb sites that's
like play below,
less preferable. But if you play below, if you play those retake strategies and force the other team to clear out below, you might just waste all of the time of a team like Luminosity, right? Because Solus, you can tell when someone's planting the diffuser, and it's very easy to just get free kills. You're essentially playing both, but now you have an operator that can see the diffuser, and you could even bring both. You could bring the Pulse and the Solus and really take advantage of a below take and a retake type of strategy. If you wanted to throw 4 bodies downstairs, give up the entire bomb site, that's something you could do. That's what Solus allows you to do, but we still haven't seen CEO in this matchup, or once by Luminosity. But other than that, it's been an even match, and open area still being one of the more preferable bomb sites here.
And Asian's going to get yet another opening kill. His second in a row. Onto the Rizzler. Onto Dream. He's immediately going to get killed by Sweater, though. So they keep in step this time. Instead of letting more bodies fall, OXG with a much better chance in this round now, taking out a big player for LG.
I love the play of Solus because he just like start spinning around looking for electronic stuff on the ground, right? You see Vertical just doing 360s inside of archives. Where's the drones? Where's the drones? Right? It's like being paranoid.
It's like
Squirrel, right? Like the dog.
Where's the drones?
Squirrel. Where's the drones?
I know they're coming. I know they're coming. Where are they?
It's really cool to see a new operator in play and almost the comical nature being brought out.
Solus is the schizo up.
That's what I was gonna say, like kind of like a schizo. Like where is everything at? Where are they at?
I hear them.
Vertical try to go and deal with some of the voices in their head now. And side of open areas, Luminosity, they've taken some of this pressure, but this open wall is going to make it difficult. Vertical
that was
finally
bold.
finding their first kill of the match. But for Splash to be taking that fight as the lone hard breacher for Luminosity, quite puzzling. Although the refrag does come through, so Vertical does end up losing out on their life. But Sweater and Newers now to hold out on the bomb sites. 2 top fraggers for Oxygen.
12 and 6 for Sweater, 9 and 5 for Newers, and one goes down real quick to Newers. Kicks throw, trying to back away as he breached that door. He didn't back away fully before clicking the trigger, so he was pretty easy fodder there for Newers. And with an evil eye staring at the Osa, not much of a chance there for the remaining player of LG. OXG, despite losing their first two defenses, retake the lead.
Well, now we'll see them back at Locker CCTV, but I mean, very close matchup so far, Harrison. 4-5. Luminosity have taken more rounds on Auction than any of Auction's opponents so far in the season. Now, I mean, it's only 2 matches, but still, like, that is more rounds. Like, that's how dominant Auction has been, but that shows how good Luminosity has been. And they've been pacing Auction very well in this matchup. Their attacks look much better as well, I must say. Like, for a team that really strives off of that defensive pressure and coordination and functionality, for them to have evened it back out and now only being down 1 round instead of 2, like we saw at the half switch, really good progress so far. But this is what I was dealing with in ranked like all day during release, and I feel like I played a lot of bank during the first day with Solus just running around shooting all of your pre-plays just as Fox. It's one of the most frustrating things I think right now with the game. It's a new op, but seeing your stuff just get shot out immediately is almost pisses me off. It's like, just let me have my drone inside, man. Like, I just want a little bit of info.
You got like a goat drone spy, like, oh man, they're never gonna find
They're
this.
never gonna find this. No VOD review needed. No VOD review needed. All you gotta do, look for the drones.
I like the Capcan picks coming out too. Capcan has, dude, I don't know what it is. There has been a Capcan resurgence, like never before with the with even like last patch too. People are just picking Capcan out of nowhere. I'm all for it. I love watching people just walk in and die. More drones being spotted by that Solus, seeing that they're starting to clear in, and he'll immediately drop, but then respot those drones. I'll probably call out to Vertical that, hey, they have not droned main stairs just yet. Might not know that I dropped either. That's a cool thing too about Solus, is you can tell whether or not they know you're there. And I think that's kind of an understated like feature. Part of Siege. Yeah. It's like when you like, it's kind of the same vein of if you know where they're not, then you know where they are. It's not like if you know that you're not being watched, then I mean there's a whole slew of things you can do.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those like, you know, you've been misdroned, you watch the drone go by you and
Splash is
now you feel free, but yeah, Splash.
I was walking out, never mind.
Oh, there we go. Well, Eddie actually getting the opening pick onto Solus, so maybe Foxy didn't know they were aware of his position, but Newers is just gonna stand up, not being droned inside the kitchen, finds 2 bodies of Luminosity. The hard breach goes down, so no more XKRS pellets, but you still have Splash with the hard breach canisters, so you can still open up something, at least around the map, but maybe not as large and in charge as you might want. They still have yet to deal with Dream, who's continuing to hold on to the blue stairs here. A little bit of an older style setup, but so strong and powerful is that blue stairs shotgun hold. And the M590 surely to find some victims here.
Oh!
Eddie,
wow, kicked him between his legs.
Oh, nearly able to find that, but I think that Luminosity have to deal with Dream here on the stairs, and it's a tough task right now.
And they're like debating whether or not to use the hard breach charge because they still need it for default wall as well, and they'll eventually go ahead and use it. The beautiful thing about Thatcher is you can just shove the EMP on the other side of that wall. In comes the nade, but they're not even gonna use it. It's Splash to just drop right on in. Asian, another kill for himself. I think backing his buddy up, getting the long angle there onto Sweater, leaving Vertical on his lonesome. Not having a great game. He's 1-8 against 3 Luminosity players. Diffuser in hand for Kickstro. Hatch coverage here from Splash, and he'll start to burn out that doorway. Vertical's going to start to feel the heat, be forced inside. They know exactly where he is, and trapped in a corner, he stands no chance. Asian shuts him down, and LG tie the game once again.
LG, they're keeping pace. I mean, they're doing a really good job here on their clear. Sure, they didn't drone out Newers, so maybe that's what Foxy was doing, trying to be some bait there in open area and just keep Newers alive. And he was able to capitalize, grab 2, but if he grabbed a 3rd, that would have been more than likely an Oxygen round, continuing to maintain that control. But there it is, the lineup, just 2 players falling there for Luminosity. But they found their way through. They were still able to get those last couple picks, and Vertical not finding the scoreboard is really kind of a struggle for Oxygen, right? Because they pivot off of a lot of his play. They pivot off of their ability to get frags to go out and fight these teams. But Luminosity, they're keeping pace. Eddie and Asian, namely, just dominant right now in their gunfights and their performance so far.
I think, too, regarding that last round, LG had the perfect 3 operators remaining to be able to take that too, right? They had the Thatcher to disable those ADSs, Asian to help get that entry into sight, and use his nade to, I would say, like, distract that smoke, and then you had the hard breach gadget and the flame from the Capital.
Exactly.
That was, you could have picked 3 better ops on the attack that Luminosity were running.
And Newers killed the worst too.
Yeah.
In at least in that scenario.
Yeah.
For how things were.
Unlucky. Because like
tragic.
even if you kill the Hibana, like most of those hatches are open. You only really need 1 hatch with that with the man count so low. So the other thing too about Vertical not having a great game, neither is Rice. They're both 1-9 right now. And you see the stats from LG and Oxygen. This is kind of one of those games where the stats do kind of tell the story. They're very strikingly similar, right? You have Eddie and Asian, 14 and 12 kills respectively. Newers and Sweater top ranking their team with 13 and 12. Dream and Splash, kind of even there, 6 and 7 kills apiece. Foxay and Kickstro still having some impact, but lagging behind. And then Vert and Rice, been absent from the scoreboard. And I think this game might come down to who steps up first. Either like Foxay or Vertical start to get more active, or Rice or Kickstro. I think whichever pair on either of these 2 teams starts to find more consistency is going to give that team the advantage to win the game.
And I think if it's going to be one of those players, it might be Rice. Because Rice, very good player,
Really?
shows out the clutch potential.
I was going to say Fox, just because he's Fox.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
the pros you do expect to be able to step up in those moments, but if there's someone I'm highlighting right now, it might be Rice, just because of some of the plays we've seen from them being that clutch gene, that clutch factor. If he stays up late in the round,
that's true.
Don't count Luminosity out of it. And I think that that's one of the most promising benefactors here for Luminosity right now, is that Rice could potentially get that pop off, maybe with a clutch, something to send off that momentum into the play. But Vertical is dropped in the open area. I don't know if they're aware of the Buck who's sitting down below. I do think.
Do they know about Vert?
I do think they know the phone call. Exactly. The phone call is alerted to the positioning, and now will come the picture from Luminosity. Vertical will fall, and now this is his time. This is Rice's time to step up, show maybe, hey, I can get more frags, and Luminosity could etch themselves on a match point, potentially the first lead of the series.
The time is low, though. 50 seconds remaining, and LG still sitting on the windows. No one really controlling top square here. They do, however, have the Osa. He's one of the ones, meaning Rice, is one of the ones repelled outside of those windows, I believe. He'll finally swing in, look to challenge those long angles with the shield. Eddie takes a lot of damage, but still wins his fight against Sweater. In comes the shield, but Dream has the perfect crossfire. Shuts down the Osa, shuts down the plant attempt. Foxay gets that equalizer. And OXG are back in this round. Now a lot of damage being done to the Iana. A brilliant position as Newers gets another kill on a Kickthrow, shutting down the backup. That secondary plant attempt. Asia's gonna try and crawl his way in, but Splash is just sprinting. Gets caught through the rotate. Impact to finish him off. There's no time remaining. 1 second, and Newers gets 3 massive kills to give OXG map point.
That round would have gone so differently had Luminosity just gone together in their execute. Instead, they were split. They didn't deal with the Maestro inside of the closet, and that was the biggest concerning factor. Dream able to get that first initial plant denial, and now Auction etched themselves onto match point for map number 1 in the series on Luminosity's map pick of Bank. But the tactical timeout to come through, more than likely a round win for Luminosity. You typically see those tactical timeouts really go and assert into round wins, but they need this one. They need this one bad, because I don't love the promise and hopes for Luminosity on a map like Chalet against Oxygen. But Luminosity, if they just go together, that's something they struggle on their attacks. I kind of foreshadowed this in the pre-show and us talking about things pre-game, Harrison. Their attacks struggle, and when they go in those 5v5 moments, when the engagements are going nuts inside the bomb site, they thrive in that environment. Those fast 1v1 engagements taken all across through the bomb sites, causing hell and just getting the plant down. They do a great job of that, but they didn't do that round. They slowed down and they tried to just kind of go in one by one and funnel to their death.
Yeah, the lack of, what do you call it, of janitor pressure really hurt them too. Like you said, never dealing with Dream. I mean, he was the one guy that could put a stop to Rice,
and they had the buck below.
Yeah, they had the buck below. I think they had someone on the window. You need someone on that janitor. I mean, that's why that stock position with the shield is so important, so that someone can challenge janitor and remove a really important crossfire for the defense. But LG didn't have that. Now they'll look to attack onto open area. They're 1-1 attacking this site. The second go around for OXG, their trade game was immaculate. I mean, LG could not get a solid foothold, because every time they were able to get a kill, someone from OXG was right there. Ooh, the drone being spotted. Is he going to go outside and get it?
He's going to tear it out. He's going to tear it down and get it. Do it.
Yeah, he's going to tear it down and get it.
Do it.
And I mean, hey, every drone you grab could be an advantage heading into the later round, so I respect it.
Points. For your points.
All right, it's less about the points, man.
It's all about the points, Harrison. That's all we're here for. Who can get the most points? You got to get those MVPs and rack them up.
I love doing that, like just having like 3 kills, but I have plants and I'm above.
But you're just above people.
Like
that's what happens when you
too.
get assists, right? You
As
get
I said,
like
that's the same
assists.
thing. That's the same thing like playing in COD.
Yeah.
Like just sitting on the point, like having more points than my 40 kill friend with like 12. I love points. Thank you, video games, for not being only kills.
That's what we all need. That's what's important. Well, Newers has already fallen off of this top pressure here, and it's down to Kickthrow to try to cut off any of the angles that Oxygen may be falling back from, but it's a little bit late in actually opening up that Kanto wall and the E2 wall as well, and it's been patched up very nicely by Newers, so the reconstructive work of the map, but going in favor right now of Oxygen. But the lobby take underway here. Asian trying to make their way on through and might have the angle here onto one of those players in the E2 hallway. It just might be a little bit too far, but castle barricade to be opened up, and top floor control virtually established here for Luminosity, so they have plenty of time here to work out where these roamers are, where these roaming defenders are inside of Archives Towers, do a ton of vertical destruction, especially look towards Eddie to really start softening up this floor, clear these players out. As you see, he's made his way in now, and here is where some of that clear goes on through.
Zoe is not bringing those breaching charges. There's no bucks. Like you said, Eddie is going to be responsible for 99% of this vertical play. Maybe Splash can, get into the action with a Rotero drone, but it's going to mainly be Eddie. OXG start with a lead, though. Newers gets the opening kill onto Asian. Eddie, the next to fall. This is terrible for LG. Their 2 top performers dead within the last minute. These are the guys who've been opening up that site, getting the entry picks that you need. And now they don't have them. Kickthrow, Rice, Splash, they're going to have to step up in a massive way if they want to bring this to overtime. You still got Newers wandering around with this Azami on the horizontal, teaming over here with vertical. Not a whole lot of control happening for LG. One player attempting to walk down the stairs gets team blinded, and Newers ends up picking up the kill. One makes his way down into square. I think that's, yeah, the Zofia of Kixro. He lights up one, lights up another, but it's no kill. Here's Dream in for the assist. The Rizzer himself, Oxygen, with the last kills, thanks to Dream. And they take the map 7-5, no OT needed.
No. The dark end screen here, but Oxygen, that's the first flawless round of the entire map, and Oxygen has been blessed with plenty of flawless rounds so far in SCS, but I mean, hey, that's one way to close out your opponent's map pick bank. Luminosity just barely losing out, but they had a damn well good fight at it. Unfortunately, that last round, things just falling short. Couple questionable plays there in that last round, and not able to win off of that tactical timeout, really costing Luminosity that map. But they've got a good shot at Chalet, so we'll see what happens there, as that's the second map here in the series, and maybe some better expectancies. But Asian and Eddie really popping off, really showing out.
Yeah, unfortunately, Newers 17 kills in the game showed them up. He and Sweater duoing for most of that. A lot of the, just in terms of pure fragging, a lot of it was that 2v2, and OXG's just did a little bit better. Same thing with, Foxay starting to step up in those later rounds, giving his team and the two fraggers the support they needed. It was definitely a frag fest, but OXG coming out on top. I really like, come those later defenses, they just didn't give LG any footholds. Every time LG seemed to be able to walk into the building, someone was either meeting them and killing them, or every time LG was able to get an opener or seemed like they were going to start to get things going, OXG had trades to answer.
Yeah, and Oxygen just played better. I mean, just in the very end there, they were able to get the trades, they were able to get the frags, and Newers and Sweater, both being the main fraggers for Oxygen, just shooting just a little bit better, but the numbers astoundingly similar between both rosters. But we'll go to a slight break. We'll take a few moments, step back. Maybe we'll see a face behind the frag segment, but that's going to be it for us, at least for map 1. We'll be back with map 2 shortly.
On a double, though, and he finds a third to the smoke. Just an ult. Getting into 3K with an ult. With 3 seconds left, Final lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time. EMB clutches it out. What a play from the alibi as the lobby player goes unchecked.
Welcome back. If you missed the first map between OXG and LG in our winners match, the winner, of course, will move to playoffs. It was 7-5. OXG ending up the victors. It was really close. It was really close. Super back and forth for a majority of the map. We were 5-5 at one point, but at the very end, OXG eking it out. Those attacks that LG were trying to put together, it tends to be their weaker side, and it was definitely their weaker side today.
Yeah, just barely. They were almost able to edge some things out. Their defenses, though, a little concerning there on Bank, but typically Bank being a more attack-centered fashion, you might expect something like that. They played a close match, though. They were on pace with Auction nearly for the entire match. Or 10th round could have gone either way, or 11th round, rather, could have gone either way to really send either team there for match point. But then the final round, rather, just really well closed out by Auction. More than likely some good words spoken to them during that tactical timeout. And now on to Chalet, which we've seen from both of these teams at least a little bit as of late. Pro League data, at least for Oxygen, they played it once in stage 3. They lost 7-5 to TSM, and last week they played Aerial Arise. They won 7-1 in a very dominant fashion. On the other end, Luminosity, well, on Chalet, their last result was a 7-2 win versus the Wichita Wolves during SI calls just last weekend.
Yeah, they've been really showing up in those calls. Unfortunately, that they lost to Reality TV. Concerning Bank, though, Newer's our standout performer, 17-6, a 1.73 rating. Eddie, not far behind, but not quite as good. Asian and Sweater just in step with each other, but I think the big difference was definitely Dream and Foxay really showing up during those last few rounds, getting OXG over the edge. Like you said, Chalet is our next map. This is OXG's pick. They were able to win LG's pick. Now we're going on to their map. And remember, this was the one that they played, like you said, against Aerial. They won it 7-1. And they had a 100% defensive win rate. They 6-0'd the half. And remember, LG a little bit weaker on that attack. That's not a great sign.
Yeah. We'll see how Auction are here. I did like Luminosity's attacks there against Wichita during last week in the SI quals. I was able to watch a decent chunk of that game. And really, they had a lot of good direct takes, a lot of attacking facets, and really getting the bomb down. They had at least 3 or 4 attempts in their attacking half. So if they're able to do so against Oxygen, we may see some similar results. But that's on the last patch. With the new patch coming through, maybe there will be some stark differences here in between their most recent time on Chalet and now their most recent, or now this new time here on Chalet with the new patch. But LG, they've got a chance here on their attacks, but like you said, Oxygen very dominant here.
I'm also glad to see that the speed changes to a lot of these operators haven't really affected their pick rate. Like Thatcher is still being brought, Sledge is still being brought nearly every single round, at least on attack. On defense, we haven't seen a lot of Aruni. We haven't seen any Malusi at all. Come to think of it, now that she's a 3 armor.
I feel like we saw less of her though. At least as the season kind of dwindled out, we did see some Malusi here and there, but I don't think she was as prevalent as someone like Aruni was. Like, I feel like Aruni you saw a lot more.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, Malusi was on a bit of a downswing, but I don't think she was going to be 0 pick
completely
rate
zero
for a whole map.
I agree, yeah. Especially a map like Bank, where you see a lot of that burn really be brought through.
Yeah, Nook going to be our first ban on Chalet, though, just like we saw on Bank. She's a powerful operator on pretty much every single map, and OXG are sticking with their Ying ban. I don't know if this is a comfort ban or a target ban. Either way, it works. I mean, people ban Ying all the time on almost every map, but yeah, LG love their Ying. They're a big Ying team.
I would say it's more than likely a target ban. LG really succeed a lot on their Ying pushes, especially when they try to go fast. They love to just blind out the bomb site and just work their way on in. But with Ying being off the board, it forces them to execute, because Auction in the most recent matchups banned Dokkaebi twice, especially with her getting a buff to 3 speed. I don't imagine that they would like forego the Dokkaebi unless they have an intent to ban the Ying out. And I do think that is for good reason, trying to target out Luminosity's attacks.
With Azami and Valkyrie being our bans, that leaves us Solus again.
Yay!
And
Kind of
Solus
shocking.
is not being played.
Yeah, kind of shocking, especially because in the last match we didn't see Solus at all. But a new operator has approached the defender field, and that's a Rudy back onto the field. So we were talking about
Mira
her
too.
not
Mira was
being
banned
played
last
as
map.
much, but yeah, and Mira as well with Azami being off the board. That's one of the bans that Auction do like here on Chalet. So Nook off the board, typical still. Even if the FMG9 gets a little bit of a recoil nerf or whatever, it's still just
Oh
she's
my
so
god, I
strong.
hate that gun.
She's so strong.
I don't know what it is. I just can't use that gun anymore.
I feel the same way. We were playing earlier today, and I was like, "What the hell
Dude,
did they
I was
do?"
playing earlier today too. I whiffed like 3 times.
No, we were playing earlier today.
Oh yeah, we were playing earlier today. I forgot about that.
You forgot about me that fast?
I did.
It's been just a few hours, man.
I'm sorry.
Not
Few.
really a few. It's been
It's been almost 12 hours. We were on that early morning raid grind.
Oh, for real.
I played with Tones after. Dude, Tones is a character.
Toads is carrying us like
I
none
kept playing with
other.
Tones. And then I played with Reverse, and Reverse was carrying me. So
There you go.
all good.
That's all you need. That's all you
All
need.
good. Got those carries. Now I need Bone to play with me so he can carry me. So anyway, heading into round number 1. Interesting mirror setup going on. It's in the closet facing Solar. Even though Solar takes are a lot less prevalent than they once were. This is aggressive. All right. It was a duo push. Rice ends up getting the confirmation, but Eddie credited with the kill for the opener. However, Newers, an immediate response, makes sure that OXG still have that equalizer.
Things balancing out nice and easy so far in this match. Auction on the attack. They love choking out their defense, or the defense rather, their opponents are on the site. But Sweater just to hop in the bathroom, a curious play. Maybe they didn't drone out. Kicksrow here is just hanging out. We'll bring down Dream as well. So a good first defending round here for Luminosity. They succeed and they strive and just sitting there holding their spots, forcing teams to clear them out. Oxygen failing to do so, and now Vertical left in a 1v4.
Interesting. I'm surprised they didn't know that guy was there. Vertical and chase back Splash as he like Neos those bullets. I don't know how he didn't get hit by anything there. He's still peeking aggressively. I mean, they know Vertical kind of has to come up this staircase, and they're going to start pushing. Here's Rice with the kill, and LG with the first round, thanks to some stellar bathroom play from Kicks.
Yeah, really, Kickstarter just not being droned out or anything. No clear, nothing to come of it. Sweater hopped in unknowingly of the player in the bathtub, so no hot tub stream for Sweater, as that was denied. But yeah, Luminosity, a good defense so far. On Master Bedroom as well. Kind of one of those sites that you don't typically see as much in the competitive pool of play. But against a team like Oxygen, we saw them attack Aerial Rise on it, and Oxygen just like to sit there, force Aerial Rise to be uncomfortable, and it seemed like in that game that Aerial just had shakes against Oxygen. They were very uncomfortable. They were very uneasy, trying to run around a lot. Luminosity, a much more disciplined defensive team, would just sit there and force you to go kill them.
It is, I didn't comment earlier, too. There's also kind of weird that LG went Master first.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
Man, that's
not typical.
Kind of weird. Ah, here we go, Eddie. Run around. Run around with the freaking visor up. He's reinforcing. All right, that's okay.
10 seconds.
Oh,
you do have to help your team a little
Oh, no, they
bit.
got one because they have a Twitch.
5 seconds left.
Unfortunately, you do have to help your team a little bit. No, I think they actually got 2.
Oh, no, they...
Are moving out to locate a bomb.
Wait.
No, because you start with 9 Twitch. So they only got one.
Yeah. That's weird that it showed that 2 were gone, though, because it showed that they only had 3.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was weird. Wow.
I don't know.
A spawn peek from Asian.
Wow. And the
Grizzly
thermite.
Bear hits the dirt. Yeah, that's big. That's thermite. I mean, they still have Ace, so it's not like the end of the world, but
But it's Newers playing Ace. You think Newers wants to go take those fights? You know he wants to go take those fights. He wants to peek everything. I think we might see him. He's got to play more passive now, and so Sweater will be more of that primary entry, at least in this round.
Bomb located by attackers.
we still got the AK-12. I would still trust Newers to entry on Ace.
That's facts.
Oh,
He's
good.
more important.
Oh,
Because you got to open those walls.
open electrical wall.
That's cute. I'm
Ooh,
intrigued.
Twitch. Getting those early spots on the Goyo canisters. Good util usage here from the Twitch. They spot that shield, of course, holding on the pillar. They'll open that main wall as there's nothing to stop them. All this info for Eddie spotting the drone, not being able to kill it, but he does see the guy hanging out outside, and I think he knows that Vertical is the only one hanging out outside, and now he'll leave. So there is no one covering Snowmobile Garage right now. I mean, I guarantee the defenders aren't going to be too comfortable rotating in front of it just because it's like phantom pressure. But still, no one holding the back.
Well, seeing Claymores on Chalet with Solus has given me a little bit of trauma from earlier in the day, but maybe a little bit.
Spotting it and then still jumping out of trophy window.
I tried to jump out and shoot it.
Clip special.
Listen, I'm a little special in some moments, and I should have pinged it. I didn't. Newers, though, they'll get the refrag, so at least the response, and like we said, the opening pick, the ace, well expected for Newers to be able to get that, but he's really done his job already. He's opened up those walls, given those lines of sights to their team with the electrical wall being open for Oxygen, for Luminosity rather, from their defensive strat. It almost gives Oxygen a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt to be able to work around the side, but Asian to find this second on the round now, bringing down Vertical.
The holes in this electrical wall, though, punishing Rice. More follow-ups. Wow, everyone on the defense is dying. Now it's just Eddie on the Solus. Stuck in a 1 versus 2. Was a 1 versus 3. He's got 1 kill, trying to engage this ace, but taking a lot of damage. Foxe trying to slip his way into the site, support his teammate. Eddie now distracted. Newers maybe coming in for the swing, but not yet. Eddie able to get away. The plank going down from Fox. Newers is right around the corner, holding Eddie. Eddie, I think, just heard him, and he wins the fight. He goes for the confirm. Fox is going to try and bet out the plant. He has just enough time to get a successful bait. Edwards trying to sprint over it, forces Fox off, and he plays it perfectly. Eddie, the 1v3 on the Solace, and LG keep OXG from winning their first round.
The newest operator addition to Rainbow Six Siege, shown why she is so strong. Not only is she speedy, but also 2 very well-wielding weapons and well-worthy of clutch potential. The SMG-11 being brought out by Eddie. Well done. Great clutch by him to be able to win out that round for Luminosity, taking 2 straight defensive rounds on the start, putting Oxygen in the back foot. Oxygen elected, or no, actually Luminosity elected to defend here on this map, since this is Oxygen's map pick. So Luminosity choosing defense, usually their strongest starting side, and so far so good.
Got to give up to Asian as well for opening the round for his team, getting them 2 kills. And I don't know if you spotted it, Klims, but he is in fact rocking the Alibi red dot because he no longer has a 1.5.
It's the staple, man.
The Asian red dot has made a return. Actually, can we see? Is he running the red dot on Solace? Because Solace has the P90 without a 1.5.
Maybe.
Oh, he's on SMG11. He's got the Russian red dots.
Oh. Okay, something new. Something new.
The drone is not in the plants. I hate to break it to you. It's outside. I think people are still getting used to like what the range looks like.
Yeah, how far it looks. Like it's weird. It almost throws off your depth perception.
What the hell?
Oh yeah, it's dumb. I mean, you saw how many pre-fires were going through from Eddie. It was just pre-firing pretty much all of last round. It kind of enabled him to get that clutch. It really did. It helps.
I didn't even realize the P90 just starts with 200 bullets. That's crazy.
You gotta open up everything you want. If you don't want the P90, you just get a shotgun with stupid range.
I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of that shotgun.
No. It's weirdly fun.
It's okay.
It's weirdly fun.
It's not great.
No. It's
it's okay.
I guess we'll see more of it, potentially, though. We saw it brought out once, but Rice with the opener. Yeah, the ultimatum. And it's curious that the smoke is getting the opening pick, but there it goes. But Splash to fall right behind as Sweaters even it back out. These early engagements for Luminosity really benefiting them, I think, at least. Bringing down Newers, bringing down 1 set of grenades in exchange for the Jaeger, essentially. Not really a bad trade at all in the sense for Luminosity, considering those ADSs will stay on the ground. Newers nades no longer to exist.
I agree. Now we have Kixro holding on to Chimney using this Wamai. There's people on his windows. Make that the Ivy window. Doing a lot of damage to him. Eddie trying to come up for the assist. Does some damage to Sweater. Foxe the next to fall. Thanks to Asian, who's coming in for that flank with Solus. In jumps Sweater. Gets the kill on the blue player. Takes out the cam as well. Asian's trying to hit the back, and he'll finally get that refrag. Luminosity keep this man advantage until Vertical steps in. That'll force Asian back. Luckily, Kixro's still upstairs wreaking havoc. He wins his one, and that may have just won his team the round, especially with Asian being forced back to the bomb site. Vertical had control of it, but now that he's lost his teammate, he's also lost case control. Kixro is just sitting on it like a chicken on an egg. And Ying, Asian, is hugging the corner. He knows he doesn't have to peek. His teammate has this case control. He sees there's no drones, at least nearby, watching him as well. Up comes the Twitch. Kixro's tucked in the library connector. The shot going to reveal the position of the Twitch. 40 seconds remain. He's not operating off of really any info at all here. Everything's a dry peek, and there's so many angles for him to cover. He'll pick up the case, sprint right in, and shot in the back by Kixro. A great hold upstairs from Luminosity from both Asian and the Wamai, and they take 3 defenses in a row.
Flawless half on defense, and they haven't even shown a kitchen dining defense yet, so we might even see that. A timeout here, though, for Oxygen, as they've started rough on their own map pick of Chalet. I mean, they played it once in Stage 3 of the NAL. They lost it once, but it was a close game against TSM, who made the most recent major. They made the Jonkoping major. I don't know if that's how you say it, but the Swede major, right?
Or something.
Something like that. I don't know. It's a lot of syllables, a lot of words, and a very big mouthful. Very big mouthful of words. So
yeah, see, I was right. Jönköping.
Hey,
Fermi just said it. I don't care. I hate Swedish.
You hate everyone.
I do.
To an extent.
Every English that's not every language that's not English is dumb. Boo.
Boo. Well, boo Oxygen right now on their own map.
Why would you say that? They're down 0-3. You're just gonna kick them while they're down? Say
a little
boo
bit.
Oxygen? What
Get a
is wrong
fire
with you?
lit under them, bro. They need like Oxygen needs something to be figured out because they're struggling right now. I think Solus being played by Luminosity is making more of a difference in the fragging capabilities of Luminosity. I don't think they're really using Solus as a as a manner of like trying to deny the information, but they're just fragging out with the kit that she brings.
I think Asian maybe also just being able to see that there were no drones kind of watching the flank too.
Yeah, that helps.
He was able to just walk up on him. Same thing with dining, right? No drones on him in dining. He was free to just kind of chill there. Kixro doing a great job in library. Now we do see, you guys can't see it because we're on the timeout screen. But Luminosity have locked in, pretty much, because there are only 3 seconds left in the pick timer. They've locked in kitchen dining. So we'll see all 4 sites of Chalet. They'll still be bringing the Solace, but there's a new addition. Echo. I like Echo play. Echo play is really cool.
Too.
So you get more cams, you get more info. You got the info and I guess info denial from the Solus, Castle and Wamai to help bolster the top floor defense. Maybe you'll have Ying upstairs. Ying. Maybe you'll have. That's not even the right guy. I'm talking about Yang. Maybe they'll have Rice on the smoke upstairs too. Sometimes you see a smoke up there. Sometimes it's Echo. I mean, you even see Echo like lurking in the basement at times just to use his drones properly. But, oh no, you know, Solus can also play up there too. So, I mean, Luminosity have a ton of options as to who they want to hold the top floor. But it seems to be the trio of Kixro, Eddie, and Asian. OXG looking for their first round still. Losing 3 in a row. Ooh, that's a nice drone spot.
Find the drones. Find the drones. Find the drones.
Is he going to ping it? Wow, he pinged it.
That's cool. When you do ping it, though, you lose that access to the ability for
Nobody
like
has shot the drone.
seconds or so.
By the way, he pinged the drone. Nobody has
no
shot
one
it.
wanted it. Nope.
It is still there. He also saw the one from I think Vertical, like in main lobby, and that is also still there.
Potentially. Good teamwork by Auction here to open up the castle barricade. Splitter nearly able to land the headshot onto the player in the master bedroom, but they'll escape with their life just so carefully, just barely. But Auction here working on their fireplace over clear as they don't want anything to do with solar, and we'll see how that goes. It's going to take them a while. They've got to rotate, obviously, from getting those big windows open, the phantom pressure being established, but Luminosity, they've been thriving off of some of their time waste so far, and that may just continue.
I thought it was going to be Eddie upstairs, but he's actually on the site. Instead, they have Splash on the top floor. I think also figuring that, hey, OXG are probably just going to open up this wall instead of, like, full pushing. And if they do, the Echo's going to be relatively safe to play off his Yokais. But they are opening that bathroom castle barricade. Kixro's in a bit of a pickle, kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Not a lot of opportunity for rotation, especially with Vertical on the big window now. Fox 8 continuing to drone in, spotting the Echo upstairs, and Kixro's our first casualty. Newers hops into bathroom, dusts the castle, looking for more, gets the important kill upstairs onto that Wamai. Fox 8, another one, I think holding the long angle against Echo. It's a 5 versus 2. A minute 15 left for OXG to play with, and they just have to worry about Eddie and Rice.
Sweater rocking the G36C and rocking their opponents at Luminosity with that. Right now, probably the most dominant round so far for Oxygen, but here's Eddie, one of the difference makers here for Luminosity, just walking up the solar stairs, Vertical, not watching that flank, maybe just being timinged here. Something had to have happened to allow them to walk up, but they bring down a Sweater who is already on low HP and has done their job aplenty. Fox A, though, still able to use that sledgehammer and leverage a lot of that verticality and destruction for Auction. So we'll have to see what happens here for Luminosity. What will the beneficiary be from Eddie with the new operator? We've seen him clutch once already, and you also have Rice as well, who's definitely got that clutch gene instilled inside of him, and just managing to duck, dive, and dodge any of that verticality play. With 20 seconds boiling out, and the execute's got to come through from Oxygen.
It looks like they might send one through the trophy window, missing the shots on the crossing player. Eddie bites the dust. Dream able to connect with the headshot. Rice eating so much damage. Newers finishes him off, and just down to a brilliant top floor take from this attack. Nobody on the defense able to land a single trade.
Kitchen dining, not going so well there for Luminosity, but that's off of the tactical timeout for Auction, and you expect them to go ahead and get that round win. Things just not working out, not panning out in their favor, although a little bit of a lack in the flank clutch from Vertical, allowing for Eddie to go up the subway stairs and get that one frag onto Sweater. Nothing else to really come out of it for Luminosity. So they'll go back to Weinzauer Snowmobile, where it took a heroic effort from Eddie to go ahead and clutch there. They're going to go back and test their hopes, maybe play a little bit more passive, and have better results in the round.
We'll see. I mean, OXG did bring this round to a 3v1 before they lost the clutch. So they know how to attack it. It's just about closing it out. Still the Solus in play for Luminosity. Goyo now in the mix from Kixro. See how much LG want to roam here. They're sticking the mute upstairs, it looks like. They'll have Eddie and Asian all the way on the top floor. So it looks like they're putting more stock in this roam this time.
Well, potentially is the alibi being brought out by Asian yet again. I'm sure we'd love to see the red dot again on the alibi, the classic staple.
I think it's the new red dot too.
The red dot C or whatever, the bigger one, but you get a little bit better picture out of
the better one.
The better one. If you're running the other one, you are trolling. You're selling 100%.
I think Asian was running it when before red dot C was a thing too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay, that was a clone.
Oh, that scared me. I thought that Sweater was just doing what he did in round one, just hopping into windows with no info.
What just happened?
Luminosity dying, over peaking. They're playing their defenses different than like what they typically do, where they like to hold on to the site. They're trying to fight Oxygen to bring the fights to them, but that's where Oxygen thrives. They love when the team that they're attacking comes to them and tries to take those fights, and Auction 9 times out of 10 are winning them, and that shows to be the case here so far. Splash?
All right, all good.
Splash with a great escape there. Dropping down the hatch, throw the C4.
I really do. I really thought he was about to get creamed by someone watching the doorway, but there was no one there.
Oh, maybe that's what he was scared of, that's why he threw the C4, but I don't know. I don't know.
Open electrical wall here yet again for Rice to play off of. Recharging those Midas, throwing them out, making sure that he stays safe. The nade goes in, his splash goes down. Isn't gonna be able to deal any damage as Rice swings out and gets one pick, but he's immediately traded because he's not covered by the shield. Drone being shot means they know exactly where Asian is flanking from. And OXG put LG in the dirt, taking their second round now, and it's starting to slip for the defense.
Things not looking good for Luminosity. They started off 3-0, and now they're back out to 3-2. Oxygen trying to even things back out here on the attack side. Usually a little bit more preferable here on Chalet, but Luminosity, I think if I'm Luminosity, I want this fourth round for sure. I mean, if I'm a team, I want any rounds, but especially this fourth round to send yourselves in the side half. That way, with attack being a little bit weaker for Luminosity, they at least give themselves a little bit more opportunity, another round of a mistake that could be made to send themselves in the OT, because otherwise they won't come out of this match with a win. They're down one map already. They lost Bank 7-5, and now going to Chalet, their opponent's map pick, to be significantly more difficult. Oxygen probably more prepared here on Chalet to be successful and to show success in their map. And again, Luminosity just taking the fight to Oxygen here on their defense. They need to go back to their roots, playing passive, making Oxygen go clear them. That's when they found success.
Here we go. Finally! Some good freaking usage of
bye-bye drones.
of my Solus.
Oh, your
2
Solus.
drones. Of
Solus
my
yours
Solus.
now?
Yeah.
Or is Eddie yours?
Right,
Or
hold on
yes,
there.
both.
Yeah, you're gonna let them tell yourself. But OSG have adapted their attacks fantastically so far. Bring back 2 rounds. We're looking at dining again, where LG's roam upstairs got handled, to say the least. Dokubi letting out the call. Up comes that Amaru. Dream able to get one. Newer's the other. Eddie and Rice both down very early.
Wow.
And another for Sweater. Splashes on the floor. I mean, this round is pretty much over. Kicks Rose upstairs. Plant is going down. Yeah, it doesn't matter. What a round.
I mean, just seamless execution. They just hopped in trophy. They just took the site. That's all they needed. That's all she wrote. Oxygen evening it out in a very dominant fashion. That's concerning for Luminosity, being 3-3 now here on Chalet. They're going into the attack, maybe a little bit more favorable, and they have strong attacks. They definitely work well, but Ying being banned out is also a concern for them because it's an operator that they thrive so much off of. So you can tell Oxygen did their prep work. They notice some of the tendencies that Luminosity have, and they're starting to take advantage of this.
Soul is still being brought. Because why wouldn't she? I like the lion pick from Splash on LG, knowing that OXG on bank. We're getting active. They're getting a little aquatic. They'll try to bring that lion to stunt the rotations from this defense. It's not Splash playing or playing him anymore. Now it's Asian. Still bringing that sledge as well. Splash flexing onto him will allow Eddie the freedom that Ashe brings. We all love a good Ashe play. So we'll see where Eddie goes with that. He and Kixro are going to be on that primary entry, which is a bit odd to say considering Kixro is usually on the support team with Rice, but it looks like Asian's taking a little bit of a back seat.
Definitely. He's playing a lot of that flank watch, a lot of the zero really on bank. So interesting to see Luminosity change up their roles a little bit, but I don't disagree with them. Like, I think that they've been pretty solid so far. It's just weird to see someone who's so very capable of fragging and that high fragging potential in Asian being brought back and slowed down a little bit, but that might help out their gameplay, obviously, in Stage 3 of the NAL. They didn't have the showing that they quite expected, and maybe stepping back into a little bit more supportive role is going to help him come out of his shell and really go back to being that player, that just star-studded player that we really know and love.
I like the kind of idea of that bottom up take, just searching around the basement really early on, making sure that no one's lurking down there, waiting for a freebie. Oh my god, I thought that was a nasty angle for a second. I thought he could see into library through those 2 walls for a second. He couldn't. LG are continuing with this top floor clear now. Now that they know that no one's really lurking in the basement, they can turn their attention upstairs. Curious that the office wall is completely soft. That might weaken this top floor hold just a little bit, but OXG are playing decently far back so that they won't be terribly exposed from it. LG might also be happy to just open up that office wall and sit someone on it rather than full clear.
I don't even think they're gonna open it. They might sledge it open. Here it is. There's a good splash to go ahead and at least sledge it open and keep track of any of that util and verticality being played here by Auction. But there go the Evil Eyes being cleared out there by Eddie. So good information game gathered so far by Luminosity. But here's where the execute has to come through. It's got to be seamless here from Luminosity. They've got the smoke grenades in the hands of Vamos or Kixro, and here's where they come through, blocking off that west main angle. But Auction with the response right now, each of them finding one of their own. Newer's finding a second now as things fell apart there for Luminosity. Nothing to come out of this round and no frags potentially in for them. Asian trying to spray through the smoke but not able to find anyone. His sweater closing out the round.
What a defense. I mean, the long angles all on lock for OXG. As soon as LG tried to put themselves into the bomb site, they were crushed, quite frankly. And you kind of got to think that maybe they would have benefited from a full top clear. Take out the Oryx, shove those roamers back down, actually use your sledge to the fullest capability, you know, make sure there's vert, flush those anchors out of their popular positions that they used to just stop you from walking into the site, but instead they kind of went for a minimal, and it did punish them. So OXG take the lead for actually the first time now this map. LG started with 3 in a row, OXG now with 4 in a row. Safe to say the momentum is squarely in their corner. And they go to Master, interestingly enough. So still liking that bedroom site. Sticking with the Solus, bringing an Oryx and a Frost, however. So probably some sort of downstairs presence, I would imagine, from that Oryx, though there is no C4 to play with, curiously enough.
You almost have to. I think that's Auction's plan, really, is to go run around the map, have some fun, and shoot things. And I think that's what they strive through in their defense. They love to be aggressive as well and take aggression to teams. We've not seen a crazy amount of defenses that they've really had to fight hard fought, but I think Luminosity has been a good test so far as to seeing Auction really as a full team coordinated, working together overall. I think that has been a good start, and really showing where Auction is in so far in season of SCS.
We now resume the game.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Heading into the round, sticking on the Lion, but now bringing the 0 as well. So you really only have one true entry, and it's Kixro. You see, thanks to that Frost pick, OXG are extending to Library as well. Never mind, Splash is now... Alright, Splash is now picking up Zoe. Asian is on Iana, so okay. So never mind. LG are completely switching up the strategy, now taking Kixro's Nomad, so he'll be on flank watch duty. And again, considering how much OXG like to run around the map sometimes, it's a reasonable pick. I like the Asian Splash entry combo. You can't... You can tell the people still aren't kind of used to the range, because no matter what you're seeing with Solus, it's kind of big. So it looks like everything is closer than it really is.
Yeah, definitely. It feels zoomed
closer.
in. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. Is that what you were going for?
Yeah, but
something
the opposite.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. 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 Well,
they're not closer. They appear closer than they are.
True. They're very close. Well, anyway, Auction here. On their defense, you have Sweater downstairs trying to be annoying to Luminosity, but they love this trophy side solar take. This is where you're going to see Rice open up the solar wall and try to run in through and get this plant going down right on the wall. Swing into solar, and
that's not a clone.
Tasked with taking a fight. It's not a clone. You just can't repel in on a clone. Newers, though, went out the first fight, bringing down Eddie, but is Rice with the response, bringing down Dream. So Luminosity with some of that early control, already finding themselves well positioned there into Bathroom and now trying to pinch out these defenders.
Sweater the next to die. Splash traded out. Asian still just chilling in the bathroom, waiting for his team to help him or waiting for an opening that he can start to move in on. Newer is the only player who can really stop Rice from planting here, but he'll be able to sneak behind the master bed and get in behind bomb chassis. There's the perfect cutoff from the window, but the impact from below perfectly timed, and there's the kill.
Awesome.
Newers with the assist. 3 for the Frost. Beautiful play from the Solus, using the gadget to a T. You can spot the planter and spot the case. Foxay impeccably acting off of his info. Kick swings in the big window to get the equalizer on the Newers, but they still have to worry about Foxay downstairs. The case has been picked up, and all of this floor is destructible. The long angle held, downs Asian, lights up Kick's throw. They're both such low HP. Up comes Fox, looking to pressure out these attackers. He'll go for the flank, but stop, and now LG have to worry about him. Asian very careful, very nervous about taking this fight, considering how low HP he is, and Foxay is going to start to ascend this staircase. Gets the first one onto Asian. Now it's Kickthrow alone. He was able to light up Vertical, but not finish off the Wamai, so he's still in a very far away pinch, and Vertical knows he can play the time. 20 seconds remaining. Plant's starting to go down from kicks. It's a fake. We'll get back up, but Vertical's aware, especially as the shots come out. Foxay looking for this case downstairs. He's got the gadget out. He'll call to his teammate. He sees he's off it once again. They can just read into the bait perfectly. Now in comes Kicks. He knows he's got to go for the fights, but no, he'll just stick this plant. Foxay through the floor. Immaculate Solus play from Foxay down below, not being cleared out, really punishing LG, and OXG go up to their 5th point.
I think Newer is explaining it exactly as we all see it. Day 2 of the season in competitive play, and we're already seeing how strong Solus truly is. I mean, going down below, Foxay able to deny that first plant attempt coming from Rice, and then going and doing the same thing again, denying that clutch potential and allowing them to just feed information to their teammate who was hanging out in lobby. That's the benefit of Solus. Such a strong operator. It's so cool to see it be used, but again, maybe a little bit strong. But Luminosity also, you can't really put all the blame on the new operator being strong, because with new changes to Siege comes new changes to what you need to do as a team on your attacks. And if you see a Solus on Chalet, you best believe you have to go clear her and get rid of her, at least clear out whatever floor they may be on, whether or not they're upstairs on kitchen dining and playing inside of office against the wall, or they're down below on master office bedroom playing below, because of how deadly she can be. Luminosity skipping that step, punish themselves, and Auction able to take a fairly free round off of that Solus play from Foxay.
Yeah, I'm running out of adjectives to describe how good the Solus play has been for OXG. I think, I said it on Bank, and I'll say it again on Chalet. I think it's apparent that OXG have a better grasp on how to, not only just how to use the operator, but also kind of how to, like, set up around her. And something I didn't even think about, too, Klims, until we saw it right there. Not only can you deny the plant from Solus, but you can also just call the bait. Like, baits don't work anymore. Because she can see when the plant starts and when they get off. So with a Solus in play, you can't bait the plant. That's just, she's like, it's like every new thing we see, she just gets better.
Yeah, there's so many different things you can use, and as we continue to see her in competitive play more and more throughout the season,
she'll probably get even better.
We'll see more stuff probably. I imagine we're gonna see a lot of crazy stuff out of Solus, and already seeing that plant denial from Foxay 2 times virtually. Once on calling the fake plant, and then once obviously on the actual plant attempt coming in from Luminosity. But it's going to force teams to really take into account the Solus and the vertical play being brought out by teams. Now this time around, Auction not electing to bring the Solus, instead electing to have a more stock standard hard held defense, and the Aruni being brought out in play, Warden out in play, and kind of shocking to not see Solus being brought out. But I think that this is a site where really you rely on that utility staying up, and maybe the drones not being as important.
Yeah. Definitely agree.
Oh
that is okay. That was bold from Foxay. Eddie's gonna get the first kill. Also, the holy crap exclamation was I didn't notice, but 8 rounds down, and Newers is 13-5.
Showing out.
So that one,
He's
you know,
showing out. I mean, he's
already at
all season.
30 kills between the last 2 maps already, but he won't get any in this round. Eddie shuts him down. Splash working his way down into short, kills Sweater. Vertical the next to fall, and finally LG, they're fighting back. Leads up to Dream, and not even able to get that kill. Splash pre-fires him down. Looked like it was a crosshair adjustment there. Thought it was going to be in bar, and yeah, started pre-firing over. That's a buddy ace, as we like to call it, between Eddie and Splash. And Luminosity get their first round of the last 6.
Yeah, been a little while. But hey, it's better late than never, and it's conveniently the one time the auction don't bring Solus is when Luminosity are gaining their first round. But guess who's back on the board? Solus auction bringing her again, and we'll probably... maybe we'll see some differences in the round. I'm sure Luminosity are going to realize like how important that Solus has been against them and probably try to go fight that play. And I bet you if we do get to Clubhouse by some miracle, I don't think we'll see Solus on Clubhouse. I think Luminosity will get rid of her.
You don't?
I think
okay.
Luminosity
All right.
has to get rid of her.
Yeah,
That-
especially with how much
the
verticality
way
there
that
is with, like,
auction's
the plants.
used. Yeah, I mean, the way the auction has just used and abused her, Luminosity would be, let's just say, they would be hurting themselves a lot if they were to allow Solus to go through on Clubhouse against Oxygen.
Man, this is great.
Oh, the drones. Oh, please tell me he's going to, like, impact the garage wall and just go get it.
Run out the window.
Just go get it. Always.
Oh my god, is he gonna do it?
No way.
Nah, no way.
Nah,
Okay, he's
it's
just prepping.
a prep. Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Fox.
I was also gonna say,
I wish you could hear us.
the other point about Newer being 13-6. I mean, yeah, he's having a stand up, but he's not alone, right? Fox is 5-4, Sweater 7-6, Vertical and Dream not doing too shabby at all. Meanwhile, the only person on LG that's positive is Eddie. They started up 3-0. A big part of why they haven't really been able to get anything going is because OXG have just been out fragging them. Purely. Their positioning and their info game has been on point. Sweater lighting up Asian, prompting the Lion call. The Oryx is already long gone. Dashed away, going back to his team, defending the upstairs. They do spot the player on blue. I think it's Fox on the Solus. Yeah, I think that's Fox A. And he's still able to get a kill. Yep, still able to get a kill. Is he going to get traded? Splash,
No
what are you looking at?
What? Asian? No.
Oh, no, that's not Splash. You're right. Splash is already dead. Asian, what are you looking
let
at?
that happen?
Nah, that was crazy.
Luminosity. I mean, that is just
Fox A
like,
is the GOAT, apparently.
where's the communication there, right? Like, this is something that Aerial Rise, when they played Oxygen, they lacked so much of in their matchup on Chalet was communication, and Luminosity in that moment kind of showing a little bit of those communication struggles potentially that some of the chaotic gameplay Oxygen is causing, but also just coordinated, well fed, lots of aggression from Oxygen. It's causing some of those chaotic comms to really go on through, and you can see that struggle. I don't think you can shoot through that piano, can you?
Wow. I think so.
Hey, maybe.
But it doesn't really matter too much, does it?
Doesn't
Sweater.
matter because everyone's dead.
2 kills to end the round. And OXG take it flawlessly. So last map, there was like 1, I think. The whole map. This map, there's been 3 so far.
For what?
Like total flawless rounds.
Oh yeah. There's definitely been more flawless rounds here. The last round of Bank was the only flawless one we saw.
Yeah.
From Auction. So again, Luminosity still able to find frags, at least in some of the rounds, but you definitely said it straight, Harrison, is they're slowing down in that frag department. Auction are starting to run away a little bit more so with that happening. Vertical obviously finding more frags in this match, but Sweater and Newer is really showing out, going and grabbing a ton of frags. Fox A not far behind as well, and Sports Staff Auction, just as he said, doing just a fine dandy job on the other end. Splash playing the Zofia, not so much, really lacking in that frag department. Now Rice has stepped it up, but again, you want to see more out of Luminosity. And a player I'd like to highlight, Asian, being someone who is a player that Luminosity strive off of so much success. Not showing out, not getting those frags is a little bit concerning here with 2 rounds left to try to get themselves into overtime. He's just being played with. He's just being messed with.
It's like every prep phase is like a cat and mouse game.
Oh, he's just gone.
No, the timing. Actually, I got timing. That's unfortunate.
Oh, it's like a carnival game. Where'd the drone go?
It's like cops and robbers.
Yeah.
Played every single prep phase. So OXG, go back to master bedroom. The site getting a lot of play in this match, a lot more than I would have expected, considering how not necessarily far out of the meta, but how much less it's been played in recent times. I also like the Doc being picked up from Dream. I love Doc. I'm so glad he's back.
Yeah, he played it. Dream played Doc a couple times in the matchup against HK Rebels. I can't remember how many times they played it against Aerial Rise. I think a couple times as well, though. So we'll see how big and impactful the Doc play is. But 2 P90s now being brought up by Oxygen. So that's 100 bullets of cannon fodder to just be dispersed somewhere around the map. And you're probably going to see a lot of it.
He's also got a suppressor on his P90, interestingly enough. And another suppressor chimes in. Newers, the opening pick on the splash. 2-9 now for the Zofia, and missing out on a lot of utility, but there's someone on the window to cover. Eddie follows it up before Kixro is traded out. Now it's a 3 versus 3, but the flank in from Sweater nets him a kill. Dropping Case too. He's got Case control, and no one on the attack is really close by to refrag. I mean, Asian is in sight, but he's getting pinched out slowly by the defenders. Vertical coming back from Ivy Hall. Eddie's now alone in a 1 versus 3, trying to keep his team alive. Send them to OT. We'll get 1 on the Vertical. Foxay is still down below, and that's the kicker. They're just going to rotate beneath. So now the only chance Eddie has is to hunt them down. Because if he tries planting, Foxay is just going to put a stop to it. There's impacts coming up. I mean, they're just bullying him at this point. He's just going to be staring at the ceiling.
He's being hunted.
With this scanner.
Oh, that is awful. He might be able to get away with a plant on the bed or maybe on the desk, but
I don't know. I think you can shoot through the bed.
You
might
be
bed.
able to.
He's going to try it.
He's going to try.
Foxy doesn't have impacts anymore.
Fox be able to get it?
Oh,
no,
well, Sweater's just going to climb up the stairs. Okay.
I mean, that's the dangerous, right? In a 2v1 with a Solus in play below.
His game crash.
No way. On the last... No, that's not real. Said. That's not real. No way. I refuse to believe his game crashed right there. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Maybe. But nonetheless, Oxygen with a 2-0 outstanding performance. 7-5, 7-4. Luminosity playing very close to Oxygen. Much better matchup than what Oxygen has faced so far in their first 2 games of the season, but now they're on to playoffs. They promoted themselves going 3-0 and in SCS. If you get 3 wins, you're moving on into playoffs, and they'll get a little break now. They get to sit back, watch the rest of the games play out, and scramble amongst each other, and they'll see who their opponent is in the next coming weeks. But Luminosity going to 2-1 now. I still think we'll see them in playoffs. They've got plenty of opportunity to do so, and I think next week they'll probably lock it in based off of their performance today.
Yeah, right. It takes 3 losses to get eliminated here, and LG just took their first. So, you know, like you said, still plenty of opportunity for LG to come back, but OXG is our first confirmed playoff team. Who would have expected it, Clems? Who? I'm so surprised. I can't believe it. I'm in shock.
Shocker. I don't think anyone is. Oxygen, just such a strong team. They maybe not the best Stage 3 NAL performance, but again, they're one of those teams that are so dominant. They have so many good, strong fraggers across this roster. Anyone can pop off at any time, namely Newers and Sweater. Those guys just go nuts. They play so well, but you also have the supporting crew of Fox, A, Dream, and Vertical. All players very capable themselves of winning gunfights, and that's what Oxygen strive off of, and that's why they found so much success here in T3.
And being able to adapt to the new meta so quickly too, being able to use Solus like that on her, technically her 2nd day, like, of being released, and it looks like they've got her pretty much figured out, right? Just running all over the map, searching for prep drones, even outside and shooting them, spotting the case. You know, who needs a pulse anymore?
No,
Honestly.
really. I mean, Pulse
Needs a
is
Pulse.
almost outdated with Solus being brought through. Now, I wonder if IQ would have been like a good direct counter.
See,
that
that's what I
Luminosity
was
could have
thinking.
brought.
Because the advantage to having IQ is so IQ and Solus can obviously see each other, but IQ can be gun up because she's got the pistol, whereas Solus can't. So you could just like hunt the Solus, not like you're hunting a Pulse, pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, but it's almost more detrimental for, I think, Solus. Maybe not. Maybe it's kind of the same thing, but
Yeah,
the
I
same
don't know.
like interaction.
I mean, it could be maybe because Solus doesn't have a C4 to just chuck up.
Yeah, but you get those impacts, and those impacts I think are almost stronger than a C4 in some of those scenarios.
Yeah, could be because it's also quicker. Like especially like when you saw, you know, Fox A deny the plant on round 6, 7, 8. Round 8, right? When Rice was trying to plant right next to the bedroom, you know, just quick impact, and Rice doesn't have time to react. So, you know, like you said, I think I agree. In certain situations, those impacts can be considered stronger. But we can take a look at the map stats, and look, nobody, not a single soul on LG with a positive rating. Eddie was positive, he was +1, but really suffered in that entry and cost department. Meanwhile, Newers 15 and 7, so he went 17 and 6 and then 15 and 7. He was 32 and 13
Incredible.
across both maps. Sweater as well. I mean, Sweater dropped to 12. He was 12 and 8 last game, so he's 24 and 14. Like
Plus 10 on the day, yeah.
I think every single person, except for Vertical, ended the day positive, like almost overwhelmingly. So
Yeah, Vertical struggled, but I'll tell you what, I mean, very good play overall from Oxygen. Solus really being one of those operators that just so impactful, really so impactful. We get to see so much of her throughout the entirety of the next season, but I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see. I mean, we just got a little glimpse of what we're going to see for the next 3 months of this new op.
yeah, I'm super excited, and we actually get an interview with one of the OXG members celebrating the win 2-0 pretty dominantly. It's the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Newers. How are you doing? So, taking that win over LG, right? You guys are our first playoff team. You guys only dropped 3 rounds in your collective 2 games before this. Did LG show up more than you thought they would, or was it about expected?
I mean, they definitely showed up more than we thought, but I'm pretty sure it took a step back to counter-strat us. I don't know if that's 100% certain, but they did cade the vault hatch first round and stop the minimal. So don't know how they knew that, but they did pick bank to counter, and they did it well. So
speaking of counter too, you guys banned Ying on both maps. Was that a target ban towards LG because they play her a lot?
yeah, I just know we scrim them sometimes, and they like when we play Oregon, especially on kids, they just start chucking Yings in the site, and then we're like, what the fuck is going on? So we were like banning that.
Yeah, and then you know, talking about your performance, you know, 17 and 6 on map 1, and then I think what was it, 15 and 7 on map 2. I mean, so obviously, you know, you have the aim to do it, but is it also just the backbone you have with the droning? You know, it gives you the confidence to go for those swings. Like, is it all you, or are you being really enabled too by guys like Dream?
Obviously, I'm enabled by Mitch. He's the GOAT. But I've also been taken off like the roam a little bit, and then put onto a like more of like a sentry turret, like on the Frost. Like y'all see me on the Frost.
Yeah.
And more of me playing like shields and stuff. So like, cause like I like to flick around a lot, walk around. I don't really think too much when I'm on the roam. I usually get caught off guard. So like when I put on the sentry turret mode, it's just ends up well.
I got you. And you know, on both maps, we saw a ton of Solus play from both teams. I mean, clearly, Fox A has taken a liking to the operator, especially with how well he was doing on Chalet. I mean, what are your thoughts about the new op? How powerful is she?
That shit is broken. That's all I'm saying. When he was the one round where he was walking around and like just pinging him for Burt, and the Burt was just peeking and like just like baiting it the whole time, that is so stupid. And then Sweater with the last round baiting on the stairs, and then he just told me he's on the bed, ran up, killed him.
And her brokenness too. We saw her banned in both maps of the previous game. Why didn't you guys ban her either of these? Did you figure like you just had a better handle on her than LG did?
Yeah, I mean, Fox is smarter than like everybody in the lobby, so I mean, he knew what he was doing more than everybody else. So we had no doubt in our mind that we would play with that op better than they would.
Cool. And with her, being as powerful as she is, are we going to be, do you think, especially, not just SCS, but going into SI and then further seasons of NAL, do you think she's going to be like a staple band, kind of like a Zombie Mirror and Valkyr now?
Yeah. I think certain teams would that rely on like heavy drone work, but a lot of teams won't because you will have to make new strats for other ops that are up, like Mira and stuff. Because people don't really usually see Mira, so just depends what the team is.
I gotcha. So, well, Newers, thank you very much for your thoughts. I don't know when the playoffs start. I'm sure, Ferme is going to have that info at some point. But you guys are our very first playoff team. I mean, you had a hell of a performance today, just like you do in, every freaking stage of NAL so far that you... I mean, actually, is it nice to come back to your roots in SCS and just dumpster people?
Still shitting on everybody, so it doesn't even matter. Same old.
Just like you did before. Well, congratulations on the win. It was certainly a treat to watch you and your team just fry everyone in the lobby, and we'll see you come playoffs.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Good night. And there you have it. So Solus, just as busted as we kind of thought she was going to be. I don't think she's like Ella Lion level, like release busted, but she's still
close.
She's really strong. Yeah, but we do have we have the total stats as well for both maps, right? We don't just do individual maps. Like you saw it, a preview under Newer's cam, and now we get the full picture. Newer's 32 and 13. I mean, we already highlighted it. We talked a million about that guy. 1.67 rating, 7 and 2 on entry. Incredible. Sweater not far behind, 24 and 14. Fox A Dream, both positive as well. And something that surprised me too is if you take, actually, even if you include Newer's, like the teams are relatively even concerning entries. Like you have Newer's as the standout, obviously, but everyone else in the lobby was like kind of there. Everyone was kind of chiming in those entries. Definitely. But something that really disappointed me, I mean, LG, right? We know them for their fragging potential. Those guys can shoot. Eddie's 25 and 18. Asians +1. Everyone else, I mean, you got to help them. Asian and Eddie need help. Rice, you can't be going. I love you. You are the GOAT. You can't be going 6 and 20.
Especially in a match like this where, it's
yeah,
not do or die necessarily, but against
every
like
gun
OG,
matters.
And you want to prove that, like, hey, we're a damn good team. We have a shot about winning SCS. Yeah. This was the match to do it for LG. Now, they definitely showed very good promise and very good strength, considering they lacked a lot in the fragging department tonight, but they still got a chance. They've still got a couple more matches. We'll definitely see them. I bet we see these two teams facing off against each other again, more than likely in a closer series when Solus has figured out a little bit more, and LG, after their PTSD of today, probably not going to let that operator go on through. But I mean, yeah, a lot of really cool, exciting things coming with the new patch and new update, and I've been excited. And now we have the bracket to go take a look at what we'll be seeing on through. We got some more games to come on through this week, but Auction 3-0, the first team all the way at the top, taking the crown.
Yeah, their first playoff team. Speaking of, the future of the patch, the future of SCS, we've got a couple more games tomorrow as well, of course, because we run, what was it, Tuesday through Friday. Tomorrow, Thursday, December 8th, the first game will be another winner's game. S2 versus Reality TV. That should be a banger matchup. That will decide who goes up to playoffs and who will join LG in that 2-1 bracket. And then our second elimination game, EQV4 versus Collegiate Connoisseurs. And that, pardon my French, that's going to be a shit show. That's going to be awesome. I cannot wait.
That is going to be like a bloody match.
Yeah, and like S2 versus Reality TV is going to be awesome because it's going to be a really good game. EQV4 Collegiate Connoisseurs is going to be awesome because it's just going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, there's going to be some stupid things coming out from both teams. I have
Who's casting that game?
And a lot of stupid things out of like Solus, I think.
Oh no, wait! I thought Carter was casting the game. Never mind.
Oh,
it's Sticula and Light Rose. So, good luck, guys.
They're gonna have fun.
Good luck with that one. That one, oh my god, that one's gonna be a nightmare. So, if you want to see Sticula and Light Rose struggle with that game, well, I think John and I get to kick back and relax with S2 Reality TV. Both games should be good for very different reasons. You can tune in tomorrow, same time as always, 6 p.m. EST, 3 p.m. PST if you live on the inferior coast. Clemps, thank you for casting with me. Audience, Thank you for watching. Players, thank you for playing. Have a very good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Fun times.